I want you to look inside any standard corporate office building, any digital workspace, or any crowded industry today. What do you see? You see thousands of incredibly hardworking people. They show up at 9 a.m., they do exactly what their boss tells them to do, they finish their tasks perfectly, and they leave at 5 p.m. They have great degrees, they have good resumes, and they are completely competent. They spend 40 years waiting for a promotion, waiting for a massive raise, or waiting to be noticed. And guess what? It almost never happens.
Absolutely, Simon. They are trapped in what I call the good employee illusion. They believe the old school myth that says, if you just work hard and get good grades, the world will automatically reward you with a magnificent career. But the modern marketplace does not care about compliance anymore. Being good at your job is no longer a superpower. It is just the bare minimum baseline to not get fired. If you are just a standard, competent worker, you are completely replaceable. The moment a cheaper software or a younger worker comes along, you are gone.
Exactly, because competence is a commodity. If anyone can copy your skill set in 6 months, your financial value is practically zero. A strong career is not built by climbing a traditional corporate ladder that someone else owns. It is built by designing a unique personal monopoly that makes you completely irreplaceable. You don't want to compete in a race with 10,000 other people. You want to create a game where you are the only player. Today, we're breaking down the absolute architecture of a high-value profession. Our topic is how to build a strong career, the monopoly strategy.
Welcome back to the Mia and Simon podcast. I am Mia, and he is Simon, the man who refused to follow a traditional career path because he hates wearing ties on Mondays. If you feel stuck in a dead-end job, if you are terrified of becoming obsolete in the age of artificial intelligence, and if you want to learn how to turn your skills into a powerful personal brand that attracts massive opportunities, you are in the perfect room. Today, we have an elite 8-part strategy to help you break out of the competency trap and build a career that gives you leverage, wealth, and freedom.
But before we upgrade your professional trajectory, we need your absolute focus. If you're ready to stop being a replaceable cog in the machine and start becoming a dominant force in your industry, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel right now. We're building a global community of elite producers, strategic thinkers, and high-value creators who refuse to play small. When you subscribe, you're signaling to your brain that your career is no longer on autopilot. It's the best way to support our independent channel and guarantee you get our psychological breakdowns every week.
Join the squad. Let's build an unshakable network together. And hey, if you have a friend who's constantly complaining about their low salary or their boring boss, but spends their weekends doing absolutely nothing to upgrade their skills, hit that share button and send this episode to them right now. Give them a professional wake-up call.
Let's get to work. We're going to show you how to shift from a mindset of survival to a mindset of complete industry dominance. Are you ready to see the raw math behind a high-value career? Let's go. Becoming rare. Mia, let's talk about a major mathematical mistake that young professionals make. They choose one massive, highly competitive field, like software engineering, graphic design, or sales, and they try to become the absolute best at it. They think, if I can just be the top programmer in my city, I will be rich. But the competition at the top of a single vertical is brutal. You are competing against millions of global prodigies, artificial intelligence, and people who work 20 hours a day. The odds of winning that specific race are incredibly low.
Oh, it's a total bloodbath, Simon. If you are just a graphic designer, you are fighting for cheap gigs on freelance websites against thousands of other people. But there is a brilliant alternative discovered by Scott Adams, the creator of the Dilbert comic strip. He introduced a concept called skill stacking. Instead of trying to be the top 1% in a single skill, you develop a combination of 3 or 4 different skills where you are simply in the top 20%. When you layer them together, your unique combination makes you a one-of-a-kind asset.
Exactly. Look at the math. If you are a decent software engineer, that is common. If you are also a decent public speaker, that is relatively rare. And if you also understand digital marketing and psychology, you are practically a unicorn. Suddenly, you are not just a programmer writing code in a dark room. You are the rare executive who can manage an engineering team, talk directly to investors, and design a product that users actually love. You have completely exited the competitive market because nobody else has your specific stack.
It changes your entire career leverage. You stop competing on price because you are no longer a commodity. To build a powerful skill stack, you have to look at your primary talent and ask, what secondary skill can I learn that will act as a force multiplier? If you're an accountant, learn public speaking so you can present financial data with charisma. If you're a teacher, learn video editing so you can take your lessons online to millions of people. You don't need a PhD in these extra skills. You just need enough competency to bridge the gap.
Beautifully put, Mia. Don't be a narrow specialist and don't be a shallow generalist. Be a specialized combo. When you stack your skills correctly, you create a personal monopoly that makes you completely irreplaceable to a company or a client. And for our amazing listeners, if you're ready to stop fighting for crumbs and start building your own unique skill stack, hit that like button and subscribe right now.
Join the squad. Tell us in the comments, what is your primary skill right now, and what is one secondary skill you are going to learn this month to multiply your value? Let's map it out. And if you have a friend who is collecting generic certificates that give them zero unique edge, hit that share button and send this section to them. Help them build a stack.
Stacking your skills creates massive internal value. But once you have a rare combination of talents, you have to face the next big challenge. The world has to actually know you exist. You have to move from quiet competence to active visibility.
Oh, talent is completely useless if it stays in the dark.
The visibility magnet. Mia, let's talk about the absolute worst way to get a job or find a high-paying client today. It is what I call the cold application trap. You spend hours tweaking a generic PDF resume, you upload it to a massive job board with 10,000 other people, and you pray that a corporate software program picks your name out of a hat. This is completely passive, it is incredibly exhausting, and it gives you absolutely zero leverage. It treats your hard-earned talent like a basic lottery ticket.
Oh, it is a total soul crusher, Simon. You send out 100 applications, you get 99 automated rejection emails, and your self-esteem drops to zero. But top-tier professionals don't wait in line to be picked by an HR manager. They use a strategy called the proof of work engine. Instead of telling the world what they can do on a piece of paper, they actively show the world by building their portfolio out in the open. They write case studies, they publish open source code, they post industry insights on LinkedIn, or they share their design concepts online.
Exactly. They build an asset that speaks for them while they sleep. Think about the psychological shift this creates. When an employer looks at a standard resume, they see a list of claims. I am a hard worker. I am creative. I am good at leadership. Anyone can type those words. But when that same employer stumbles across an online breakdown you wrote about how a major company solved a specific supply chain crisis, you have given them undeniable proof of your intellect. You have solved their trust problem before they even jump on a call with you.
It flips the entire dynamic of the job market. You stop chasing opportunities, you start attracting them. When you build your proof of work engine consistently, you create what digital marketers call inbound volume. Headhunters, founders, and clients find your work online and they reach out to you with offers. You enter the negotiation room as an authority figure, not as a desperate applicant begging for a paycheck. Your public work becomes your ultimate credentials.
Beautifully put, Mia. In the digital age, your career strength is determined by your public portfolio. If you are brilliant, but nobody can see your work, your value to the market is functionally zero. Stop hiding your genius in private desktop folders. Start publishing your insights and building a digital footprint. And for our amazing listeners, if you are ready to activate your own proof of work engine and make your talents highly visible to the world, hit that like button and subscribe right now.
Join the squad. Tell us in the comments below, what is one project, article, or piece of work you can share online this week to start building your public portfolio? Let's put ourselves out there. And if you know a brilliant person who is completely invisible online and struggling to find a job, hit that share button and send this section to them. Help them build a magnet.
Broadcasting your work builds massive authority, but once you have captured the market's attention, you need to make sure you are positioned in an industry that has a massive future. You have to learn how to spot high-growth waves before they peak.
Oh, picking the right vehicle is everything.
Aligning with growth. Mia, let's look at a harsh reality that many hardworking professionals completely ignore. Your individual talent only makes up half of your career success. The other half is determined entirely by the growth rate of the industry you choose to enter. You could be the most disciplined, brilliant, and creative executive assistant or printing press mechanic in the entire world, but if your industry is shrinking by 10% every year, your income will drop, your job security will vanish, and your career will feel like an endless, exhausting uphill battle.
Oh, absolutely, Simon. It is like trying to row a boat against a massive waterfall. You are sweating, you are working 14 hours a day, but you are still moving backward. On the flip side, if you position yourself inside a high-growth industry, like artificial intelligence infrastructure, clean energy logistics, or specialized digital healthcare, the sheer economic momentum of that sector will pull you upward. Even if you are just an average worker, a rising tide lifts all boats. You get promotions and raises simply because the industry is expanding so fast that it desperately needs people.
Exactly. This is what I call the sector surf. The smartest professionals don't just look for an open job description, they look for macroeconomic waves. They ask themselves, where is the global venture capital flowing right now? What sectors are experiencing a massive shortage of talent? Where will the world be 5 years from today? When you align your skill stack with a high growth sector, your value multiplies instantly. A basic project manager in a dying retail firm makes a standard wage, but that exact same project manager inside a cutting-edge biotech startup can command double the salary plus equity.
It is all about picking the right economic vehicle, Simon. To surf the right sector, you have to keep your eyes open and stay adaptable. You cannot marry yourself to a single corporate title for life. If you notice that your current industry is being heavily automated or losing market demand, you need to start building a bridge immediately. Take your core talents like communication, data analysis, or leadership and translate them into the language of a rising sector. Don't wait for your company to lay you off. Jump onto the next wave while you still have momentum.
Beautifully said, Mia. Loyalty to a dying industry is financial suicide. Keep your skills sharp, stay curious about emerging technologies, and be willing to pivot your focus to where the future is being built. Position yourself where the wind is at your back. And for our amazing listeners, if you're ready to stop fighting the current and start surfing the high-growth sectors of the modern economy, hit that like button and subscribe right now.
Join the squad! Let's navigate the future economy together. Tell us in the comments, what is one industry or technology trend that you think is going to experience massive growth over the next 3 to 5 years? Let's spot the waves. And if you have a friend who is stubbornly sticking to a dying trade because they're afraid of change, hit that share button. Send this section to them.
Aligning with a growth sector gives you massive economic momentum, but once you're inside a high-growth field, you need to establish your absolute authority. You have to learn how to communicate your ideas so powerfully that people naturally view you as a leader.
Oh, technical skills mean nothing without communication.
High-stakes communication. Mia, let's look at who actually gets ahead in high-stakes corporate rooms, investor pitches, or major client meetings. It is rarely the person who writes the cleanest code or the person who spends 40 hours analyzing a spreadsheet in silence. It is almost always the person who can stand up, look people in the eyes, and explain a complex strategy in simple, high-impact language. In the professional world, poor communication acts as a massive tax on your talent. Excellent communication acts as a 10x multiplier.
Oh, this is the ultimate differentiator, Simon. I see so many brilliant technical generalists who get stuck in entry level or mid management roles for a decade simply because they speak in dense, confusing jargon. When their boss asks for a simple project update, they dump a mountain of raw data and boring details into a 20-minute explanation. They confuse people, they bore people, and they completely kill their own authority. They lack what top executives call presence.
Exactly, because leadership requires clarity. To build a strong career, you must develop what I call the executive voice. This means mastering three fundamental rules of communication. First, the bottom line principle. Always lead with your conclusion. Don't build a long, slow narrative. State the final result or the main problem in the first sentence, then provide the supporting data. Second, the jargon filter. Explain your ideas so clearly that a 12-year-old could understand the core concept.
And what is the third rule, Simon?
The third rule is emotional temperature control. When a crisis hits, an amateur reacts with panic, high-pitched vocal tones, and defensive language. But a leader with an executive voice drops their tone, speaks slower, pauses intentionally between sentences, and focuses entirely on the solution. This vocal control signals absolute competence to the room. When you master this, founders and clients don't just view you as a technical executioner, they view you as a reliable anchor. They want you in the room when major decisions are being made.
It is about projecting authority through your words, Simon. Anyone can learn a technical skill set, but very few people take the time to record themselves speaking, fix their vocal fillings like and and practice the art of persuasion. When you actively build your communication skills, you lift the ceiling off your income potential. You become the rare professional who can bridge the gap between technical data and human execution.
Beautifully put, Mia. Your skills get you in the door, but your voice determines how high you rise. Take your communication seriously. It is the ultimate career cheat code. And for our amazing listeners, if you're ready to drop the filler words, build your executive presence, and claim your seat at the main table, hit that like button and subscribe right now.
Join the squad. Let's sharpen our communication tools together. Tell us in the comments, what is one communication habit you're working on improving this week to sound more confident? Let's share our goals. And if you know a brilliant professional who's constantly being passed over for promotions because they're too quiet or timid, hit that share button and send this section to them. Help them find their voice.
Mastering your voice gives you incredible influence in your current room. But to protect your career from sudden market shocks, corporate layoffs, or economic downturns, you must have an insurance policy. You must never rely on a single source of income.
Oh, safety is an illusion.
Multiple career pillars. Mia, let's talk about the biggest illusion in the modern workforce, the idea of a safe, stable job. For decades, people believed that working for a single large corporation for 40 years was the safest path to security. But in today's fast-moving economy, relying on one single employer for 100% of your income is actually the highest risk strategy available. If a company faces a financial crisis, shifts its strategy, or decides to replace your department with a new software tool, your entire income stream vanishes in a single afternoon.
Oh, it is like sitting on a one-legged stool, Simon. It feels fine until someone kicks that one leg away and then you crash flat on your face. The modern professional world requires you to stop thinking like a traditional employee and start thinking like a diversified business. To build a strong career, you need to create what I call the equity anchor. This means using your spare hours to establish multiple pillars of income and professional value outside of your primary 9-to-5 job.
Exactly. You need to diversify your professional portfolio. This doesn't mean taking on a second exhausting low-wage job. It means leveraging your core skill stack to build high-value side pillars. For example, if you were a digital designer by day, you can spend your weekends building a digital template pack to sell online, teaching an online course, or taking on one high-paying private consulting client. These aren't just random side hustles. They are equity anchors that ground your professional security.
It changes your entire psychological relationship with your main job, Simon. When you have a thriving side consulting practice or an independent digital asset bringing in revenue, you stop living in constant fear of a corporate layoff. You don't have to tolerate a toxic boss or accept an unfair salary freeze because you know you have options. It gives you the ultimate professional leverage, the power to walk away from a bad deal. Ironically, that confidence usually makes you perform better and get promoted faster at your main job.
Beautifully put, Mia. When you own your own equity, you own your future. You transition from a vulnerable vendor of labor into a resilient ecosystem of value. If one pillar cracks, your lifestyle doesn't collapse because you have 3 other anchors holding you steady in the storm. Diversifying your skills and revenue streams is the ultimate career insurance policy. And for our amazing listeners, if you are ready to stop relying on a single paycheck and start building your own equity anchors, hit that like button and subscribe right now.
Join the squad. Let's build true career security together. Tell us in the comments below, what is one asset, freelance service, or consulting offer you can start developing outside of your main job this month? Let's share ideas. And if you have a friend who is constantly stressed out about corporate restructuring or job cuts, hit that share button and send this section to them. Help them build an anchor.
Building multiple pillars protects your income, but to scale your career into the upper echelon of influence and wealth, you have to stop selling your manual labor hours completely. You have to learn how to operate through leverage.
Oh, that is where you move from working hard to working smart.
The leverage ladder. Scaling your output. Mia, let's look at a fundamental limitation of human biology. No matter how smart, disciplined, or talented you are, you only have 24 hours in a day. If your career model is based entirely on trading your linear time for money, meaning you work 1 hour and get paid for 1 hour, you will eventually hit an absolute brick wall. You cannot work 80 hours a week forever without destroying your health and your family life. Linear input equals linear output. To build an extraordinary career, you must break this link completely.
Oh, yes. I call it the time prison trap. If you are a highly paid lawyer or a premium consultant charging $300 an hour, you might look wealthy on the outside, but you are still just a luxury factory worker. If you go on vacation, your income drops to 0. If you get sick, the machine stops. True career scale happens when you stop focusing on your input and start focusing on your leverage. You have to look for ways to make your single hour of work replicate itself 1,000 times over while you're sleeping.
Exactly. Naval Ravikant, a brilliant philosopher and investor, broke leverage down into 4 clear forms. The first 2 are old school, labor and capital. This means having people work for you or having money work for you. But the 2 modern forms of leverage are completely free and permissionless: code and media. This video script we are recording right now is media leverage. We write it once, we record it once, but it can be viewed by millions of people across the globe for the next 5 years.
It is the ultimate force multiplier, Simon. When you write a software script, build a digital product, record an instructional video series, or design a reusable template, you are creating permissionless leverage. You are creating products of the mind that have a duplication cost of absolutely zero. A standard professional uses their hands to solve a problem for one client. A leveraged professional uses their brain to create a system that solves that exact same problem for 1 million people simultaneously. You move from linear growth to exponential scale.
Beautifully said, Mia. To climb the leverage ladder, look at your daily professional tasks and ask, how can I turn this specific action into a reusable asset? How can I document this process so a software program or an assistant can run it for me? Stop being the engine of your business. Start being the designer of the train. When you master leverage, your income potential becomes completely detached from your physical hours. And for our amazing listeners, if you are ready to stop trading your life hours for scraps and start climbing the leverage ladder, hit that like button and subscribe right now.
Join the squad. Let's scale our minds and our careers together. Tell us in the comments, what is one asset or system you can build in your field that can work for you automatically? Let's brainstorm. And if you know a highly talented freelancer or professional who is completely exhausted because they are trapped in the time for money cycle, hit that share button and send this section to them. Show them the ladder.
Scaling through leverage maximizes your market value. But once you have achieved financial independence and industry leverage, you reach the final level of professional maturity. You move past the mechanics of building a career and enter the realm of absolute alignment.
The ultimate graduation.
Achieving career freedom. Mia, we have covered an incredible strategic journey today. We have broken out of the compliance trap, stacked our unique skills to become rare, built a public portfolio engine, surfed high-growth economic waves, mastered executive communication, anchored our security with multiple pillars, and climbed the leverage ladder to scale our output. Now, we stand at the final gate of this professional masterclass. When you successfully tie all these elements together, you reach the absolute pinnacle of career development. You establish your own personal monarchy.
Simon, it is the ultimate professional destination. When you achieve a personal monarchy, you are no longer a standard worker hoping that a company approves of you, and you are no longer desperately playing by old, rigid corporate rules. You have built such a powerful personal brand, and your skill set is so uniquely rare and leveraged that you operate with complete autonomy. You choose exactly who you want to work with, when you want to work, and what major problems you want to solve. You are the absolute sovereign ruler of your professional destiny.
That is the true meaning of career success, Mia. The average professional spends their entire life running on a treadmill that someone else built, terrified of a bad review or a sudden shift in corporate policy. But a person who has built their own monarchy is completely unshakable. They don't look for jobs. Jobs, capital, and elite talent actively look for them. They align their daily labor entirely with their highest personal values, their deep creative passions, and their long-term legacy. They have transcended the competitive market completely because nobody can compete with them at being themselves.
It is the absolute paradox of the modern economy. When you stop trying to blend into a generic job description, you finally unlock maximum wealth, prestige, and peace of mind. And to our incredible, brilliant listeners who have walked through all 8 sections of this roadmap with us today, thank you. You are the independent minds who are going to redefine the future of work. If you're ready to claim your authority and start building your own personal monarchy from this moment forward, hit that like button one last time and subscribe to our channel right now.
Join our global circle of elite creators and producers. Your subscription means you're choosing strategic ownership over mindless compliance and leverage over linear exhaustion. Remember this 8-part strategy the next time you feel stuck, undervalued, or anxious about your professional future. Take a deep breath, review your skill stack, push your proof of work engine out into the open, and keep building your kingdom. We are immensely proud of your commitment to professional excellence today.
The old corporate ladder is officially broken, Simon. I am flying my own plane now. And to everyone watching, you are the CEO of your own talent enterprise. Don't let a bad deal or a small mindset lock you down. Share this entire 8-part series with a professional, a freelancer, or a student who needs the strategic courage to step up, stand out, and build a truly strong career.
Well said, Mia. Thank you for this exceptional collaboration. And thank you to everyone at home. Stay strategic, stay irreplaceable, and build your own path.
Thank you for listening to the Mia and Simon podcast. I'm Mia.
And I am Simon.
How to build a strong career. Don't play the game, own the board. Goodbye.